podcast time.
Well, I guess we have a show going on. Mark, how you doing?
We're live. I don't know if that means anything, but we're live. Oh boy.
We are. Yeah, there's things
Oh,
going
boy.
on. I think the start of our stream was a little wonky, but that's okay. I mean, we haven't had
This
a whole bunch
this
of
was the
problems
most
in a while.
boring week ever.
Yeah, nothing happened. I mean, it
Nothing happened.
seemed like we were just on the show.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Were we? Like
Yeah,
a week
I
ago?
guess so.
Or
Yeah.
yesterday? Or
Hey!
2 days ago? I don't know which.
There's 3 of you out there watching us right now. Thank you
Ah.
for joining us for another episode of The Gentleman and the Jerk. I'm the Jerk. I'm Chris.
I got one Perrier. You've got one wine.
Yep.
That's a win, right?
I think that is a win. Oh, we don't
So,
have one viewer.
what happened?
We shed a couple people already.
Oh,
We're up to
boy.
a great start today.
How
Yeah.
is it even one? Now it's none.
No, now it's none. Okay, I guess we're not even
What
having a show
the
tonight.
hell?
That's all right. We'll just
You and I
we'll
aren't
just
even
talk to
watching.
ourselves.
That's crazy. Okay, so hey,
craziness.
What's new in your life, Chris?
Oh man, I did a little bit of a I don't know election, something like that was going on.
An erection? What?
No, that is not at all what I said.
Yeah, you're right. You're old. You don't do that anymore. So who
What
won?
do- I believe it was Joe Biden. I believe that Joe
you
Biden
sure?
is the winner of the election, and we are going to have a new president come January. Thank God.
A new precedent.
Yeah, that too.
My lighting is terrible today.
No, you actually
Sorry.
look good. Normally you're hot. Your like forehead is all shiny. You're actually pretty good right now.
I
I'm
would
sorry, I was
prefer
just-
you say I was hot.
Well, I was sorry. I was a little distracted. I was sharing this to my Facebook page, trying to get some people to come on and join us right now. Let's
Shiny.
have a conversation with people.
Yep. Yeah, well, you have to have a conversation with me, and I know you don't like that. So
That is not
it's
true.
all right.
You're being unfair. You are being unfair.
Uh.
I actually really enjoy having conversation with you. All right, so let's
So-
talk about this. Let's talk about this
no.
election. Because
Hold on. We got to talk about what happened this week with us, personally with us. What happened to you?
what do you? Oh, geez. Well, I have had a hell of a week. I've been dealing with the ramifications of a national election, but also a local election because I am quite involved in politics in the local scene, as well
Yep.
as my girlfriend who actually works in politics. So it's been a very busy week for us. After the first couple of days, it was like Tuesday part 3. Things kind of calmed down. We realized where we're at. One of our candidates that we support very passionately, she did not win. The woman that Jessica works for did, however, win. Thankfully, and so Jessica
Yeah,
still has
that's
a
great.
job.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Good.
then
Perfect. Yay.
yeah, yay! And then another one of my loosely friends who I really am passionate about. I'm really hoping he wins. He is currently down in the polls, but we have tens of thousands of mail-in ballots that in New York State we don't start counting those until tomorrow. So while he's losing right now, by the end of this week or next week, he could be winning. So that's the
Well,
that's the next
I
thing.
hope that happens.
Yeah, me too. It's this has obviously been. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see what my dog's doing in my closet right now.
That's fine.
It's been a very interesting week. I think we've learned a lot about the electoral process and how our country views elections, but moreover how easily they are swayed by the condemnation of a madman who is spreading lies and discontent and fear and stoking anger and hostility, and that's probably going to lead to violence at some point. It's been a hell of a week, man.
Okay, so I'm going to say something that's going to be very controversial, and
Okay.
Most people are not going to like this, but okay. So, do you think if violence happens, that is a better or worse thing for our democracy?
That's an interesting question.
Do you think that? Do you think if something happens, not that I want it, I don't want anything like that to happen. Do you think that makes this an easier transition, or does it make it worse?
No, I think it makes it worse. I believe that in the best case scenario, we ignore him. I think, based on what I'm seeing so far, if people are reticent to the idea, that they accept the fact that he is not the winner of this campaign, they may slip into this idea of acceptance. And I think that's really the best thing that we can get is some acceptance of the fact that he lost, that him being Trump. If he continues to stoke this idea that somehow this was taken from him, and moreover, as he talks to his sycophantic followers, if they believe that something's been taken away from them, I think then we're more in line to receive that violence you're talking about. I mean, there's already a story about a Humvee loaded with armed men coming up from Virginia, driving to Philadelphia in order to drop off fake ballots. Yep. Yeah. My puppy's on the screen now. So, I think that's the beginning. Oh, hi, baby. I don't think we're done yet. I think there's going to be more coming. There's been a lot of counter protests, people protesting on the streets, and then, people from the Trump side, as well as people from Biden's side, arguing back and forth. There's at least one case. I forgot where it was. I want to say Detroit, but I'm probably wrong. It might have been in Arizona, actually, where there was, some fisticuffs that took place. I don't normally use the word fisticuffs, but it seemed appropriate right now.
You're a wise guy, see? Come on.
No, you can't go like this. It's got to be more, it's this way. Putting the dukes up. Yeah, putting up the dukes. So, I don't know. I think right now we are testing, this is the levee, right? The levee's in place, and see if the levee holds, because we're going to be coming out of the back end of a administration, a reign by a man who...
That's funny you say levee.
Why is that?
Because GM. Didn't he lose a GM plant in Michigan?
Yeah.
Chevy did the levee, but the levee was dry. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. No.
Never mind.
That's what the levee's got to hold. So I don't think necessarily that we are in a constitutional crisis here. I don't think he's going to refuse to leave. I think eventually he has to see the writing on the wall. I do believe that he is going to be, and trust me, I've been talking about this with people for days now. I do believe that he is going to continue to be a thorn in the side of democracy. I think he's going to continue to stoke the seeds of discontent, this idea that it was taken from him. I think you're going to see a scenario down the road here where Donald Trump is at the presidential events, right? The things that we see, whether it's state funerals or State of the Union or whatever it is, where all the presidents kind of pop up out of the woodwork. He
won't be there.
I don't think that's true. I would say he wouldn't be there, right? But I have a funny feeling he's going to ride this idea that he had this stolen from him, and every chance he has to get in front of a camera for the next however many years, he's going to do that. Unless, and this is kind of what I'm hoping for, unless he gets arrested, unless he gets charged with crimes in New York State, that might be the piece where he is no longer a problem for us. If he's sitting in a jail cell and at Rikers Island, that might be the saving grace.
Do you even think if he is prosecuted, he'll be arrested and tried and convicted and go to prison? I think it'll just be here's a fine, go away.
No, I don't think so. And here's why I don't think so. Because never mind the Hatch Act. There's a number of
which is very hard to prosecute, by the way.
Right. But there is a number of things that he did that were a disintegration event for the standards of the office to which he was seated. And the last thing you want to do is for him to establish an initial boundary so that the next ideologue that comes along thinks that he can push that boundary even further. Well, as long as I have the Senate, I'm protected. They can't do anything to me, so I can go even further. And I think if they do prosecute him, if they charge him and prosecute him and jail him following this, it sends a statement to the next ideologue, the next Trump down the road, that you cannot do this in this country.
Sure.
This country is founded on principles and ideals to which you are the antithesis, and this will not be allowed. So for that reason, I would like that. Now, there is a history, there is a precedent, certainly, of not prosecuting presidents for anything they did while they were in office, right? That's like Bush.
Absolutely.
Bush Jr. is a perfect example. He clearly persecuted war crimes or whatever, and there was no ramifications for that. Nothing happened to him after the fact. Dick Cheney, for example, and they made a movie. They made it very clear that they lied to the American people, and there was no legal ramifications for either one of those men. I mean, for crying out loud, Dick Cheney shot somebody in the face and didn't get arrested for it. So,
hey, come on! It was birdshot. Come on.
Yeah,
Didn't kill him.
So, I mean, the guy's only maimed for the rest of his life. It's no big deal.
Well, that's all right. You got some money out of it. I'll take some money. Get shot in the face with a birdshot. You will too.
No, that's not true. I don't want to. I have a pretty face. I'm not sure if you've looked over here, but I do not need to get shot.
I've looked. I'm pretty sure your pretty face is what's only given us 4 views. We're up to 6. Holy crap! That's amazing.
It's a good night, man. Hey, listen, we've
Down
had a
to
good
5.
week, and no, that's all right. We're going back and forth. Jeannie Gallo's on. Hi, Jeannie Gallo.
It could be a whole lot worse. Hey, so let's say something about her volume is maxed and she can barely hear us. Come on, Chris.
I mean, everything looks fine on my end.
Not my forehead that's shiny. It's your volume. Come on.
No, everything looks fine on my end. I mean, our levels are good. I have no idea why she's getting a problem with it. Maybe she needs to play the computer.
So speaking of Jeannie, I hope everything's well with you. I've heard you had some illnesses lately, and I hope all the best for you, and thoughts and prayers and whatever you think, thoughts and prayers for you. I hope everything's okay.
Yes, same. I say the same thing. Jeannie and Becky, since you guys are real time helping us here, is it Mark? Is it me? Is it both of us that's got volume issues? I'll just go ahead and raise both of us up for a minute here and see if I can't fix it.
That's fine. I like to be rised up.
Yeah, it's like Hamilton and shit.
Woo! Not really. Now we're frozen. We are now completely frozen on... Oh, there we're back.
I have no idea what that was.
That's fine.
Yeah, it happens.
Sounds pretty normal. You don't know what's going on.
Get our volumes up a little bit more here.
Oh, now I hear you. You sound amazing now.
Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Well, hopefully that works. So here we are. Let's talk about what happens next. We obviously got a nice speech last night from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
And hey, speaking of that, do you think that was Disney technology that did the drones?
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely, for sure.
They were pretty perfect. There was a couple little glitches, but they were pretty damn perfect. They were close.
Yep. No, I think the production value was good. I think her white pantsuit was fantastic. I was blown away. I was very happy with the message, specifically the message. I mean, in one 25-minute speech, he was more presidential in 25 minutes than Trump was in 4 years. I mean, not every single. And trust me, it pains me to say this, but not every single thing that Trump did over the last 4 years has been terrible. Almost all of it has, certainly, but not everything. And so, but even with that said, even the things that he did do or say, and the moments where he was otherwise presidential, it was eclipsed in 25 minutes by Joe Biden last night. And not just because I'm a Democrat. I mean, it's this idea of getting back to our presidential norms of compassion and unity and talking to all the American people and avoiding there's plenty of partisanship in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. We don't need it in the White House. And the way he aggressively called out Democrats, I don't know. I have no idea how else to handle it. And Jeannie, I see your message. I am not sure why that is. I don't know if I'm overmodulated. Our settings are all weird tonight. Whatever.
Some vibrato.
Yeah, it might also be the fact that I got a little bit of wine in me. Maybe that's causing me to hum in a different way.
Okay, so speaking of what's going on in Washington right now, so I have a feeling that the most powerful person in Washington right now, until Georgia Senate is done and gone in January, is old Mitch McConnell. What do you think?
Well, yeah, certainly he's been the most powerful person in Washington for the better part of
for a long
years
time.
Now. Yeah. So he's going to remain that way. While I'm excited about the fact that there's a runoff happening in Georgia for both of their seats, I don't have a lot of faith in what's going to happen in that runoff election, and it's not until January. So as people realize that the Trump presidency is over, Democrats are going to be less motivated to go out and win a couple of Senate seats. However, the Republicans, as they ride that, oh my God, if you let them take the Senate, we are going to lose all control. Because the Republicans, what they do really well is fearmonger. So if you give them carte blanche to fearmonger, they're going to take advantage of it in every way they possibly can. So I don't have a lot of faith in those two seats. One of them, maybe. And certainly 50-50 in the Senate would be perfectly fine with me. But that still leaves Mitch McConnell in power.
So if you look at what arguably the most powerful woman in Washington right now, what she did in Georgia, 800,000 people registered to vote.
Well, and she's not even in Washington. Keep in mind,
she's not. She's in Georgia.
She is the most powerful. She's probably the most influential Democrat right now, next to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Probably is.
Yeah, I certainly gave her much love. We're talking about Stacey Abrams, by the way, for those that aren't following. She is a powerhouse. She almost won the governorship 2 years ago, and the team she has put together to get out the vote and to drive the state of Georgia blue is extraordinary. The idea that there are not just one but two Senate seats that are going to a runoff is extraordinary. I mean, the woman has a lot of power, a lot of clout. I would love to see her in some form of cabinet position in the Biden White House. I don't know if that'll happen. I think she's got more power as a field coordinator and that kind of stuff. So who knows where that's going to go? But wow, what an amazing woman she is.
Well, and that's a very important state going forward. I don't know if plucking her out of Georgia is a good thing right now. She may be more influential just staying there.
Sure, and unless you put her, in charge of more things inside the Democratic Party and get her to do what she did in Georgia across the whole country. I mean, I think.
Well,
I'm not saying.
And if she gets these two Senate seats, then that changes things. Mm-hmm. Because I think you got to give her a lot of credit if the Democrats take those two seats.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
I mean, she's changed. She almost won the governorship 2 years ago, and now she's turned the state blue. I mean, it's amazing. Really is.
Yep. I'm thoroughly blown away. So that's kind of where we're at with that. We still have a couple states. I mean, Georgia's still not final. They're going to definitely go to a recount. They've still got provisional ballots as well as military ballots coming in. I mean, it's close enough that it could go either way. There's approximately, some people think, as many as 100,000 votes still floating out there. So it could go either direction.
Arizona is almost done.
Arizona's almost done. And most likely Biden's going to carry that. I mean, the ABC or the Associated Press, I'm sorry, not ABC. The Associated Press and Fox News have already given that to Biden. Not that has any real precedent. Long ago, right? And the Maricopa County, which is the largest county in Arizona, that has already completely finished their ballot count. And they already have their provisionals, so it's not like they are still waiting on more votes. So most likely Arizona's done. In which case it ends up being really a large win. I mean, it's an overwhelming win. Certainly in the popular vote, over 4 million lead for Joe Biden in the popular vote. And then you're looking at, when all is said and done, probably almost 70 electoral votes. I mean, that's a substantial victory. No doubt about it. So, I mean, now we move on. World leaders have already been in touch with Joe Biden. He's already talked about what he's going to do on day one. January 20th, number one thing, the biggest stain on the presidency of Donald Trump is, well, no, there's that. You can't change that in one day. But the one thing that he can do in one day on January 20th, and he's already said very clearly that it will happen on January 20th, is to put us back into the Paris Accords so that the United States will once again be a leader in the battle against global warming and climate change. I mean, that
That's
was
great. I mean, that's even just getting out of it's just so irresponsible. You know, even if you don't agree with it, at least you have to sit there at the table and say no, not just walk away. You know, it's
Now, so the thing is, and this is why Donald Trump did so well with the average uninvolved, uneducated voter. Because as he places his argument on the table as to why he pulled us out of the Paris Accords, he talks about fairness. He talks about money and dollars and countries doing their part and who's responsible and who's producing CO2. And the thing is, the words that he says, the ideas that he articulates, and that's kind of a strong word because he doesn't really articulate much, but the things that he's able to convey as his reasons for why he pulled us out of the Paris Accords on their base level makes sense, right? And that's why the uneducated voters buy into his idea. They're uneducated. They don't understand the idea that while we are one country, and China is one country, and France is one country, and the United Kingdom is one country, and Germany is one country, we do not represent an equal share of CO2 emissions or global finance or factory production or population or any of those things. And so he comes to the table like he's one player, but he's not. We are the world leader. And we also, our industrial revolution was more damaging to the global health than anything that's going on right now across the world. Now, obviously, the CO2 emissions are astronomical right now on a global level, but I mean, we burned fossil fuels without any controls, without any safety, without any filtration, without anything
for decades. 80 years.
Yeah, you know, we are the reason half of our fresh water in this country is poisoned. You know, I live near a lake. You were here earlier this year. I live near a lake that literally has a 6 inches. I'm not kidding you. 6 inches of mercury sitting on the bottom of the lake. It's one of the most polluted. Actually, at one time it was. It's not anymore. At one time, it was the most polluted freshwater system in the entire country.
Is that where we were kayaking?
No, we did not kayak that. That was a nice lake. That was a freshwater. That was a freshwater spring lake called the Wasco. The one near us is Onondaga, which is actually not one of the Finger Lakes. It's still in the Finger Lakes region, but it is not technically a Finger Lake. And it's part of the river system, so the Seneca River flows through it. It is a it was a dumping ground for decades from DuPont and Dow and other companies that were absorbed by them. What was that?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I know what happened there. I lost you.
I don't know. Sorry.
You're like Max Headroom all of a sudden. That was weird.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, that's a really okay. So let's get away from that because that's a really depressing and dangerous conversation to have. Let's get over to something a little bit more friendly, a little bit happier. What did you think? I know you have some things you want to talk about. We certainly will get to those shortly. Did you watch this week's Mandalorian? Oh, you don't even exist anymore. You're completely frozen. Interesting. I guess it's my show now. So I watched The Mandalorian, and while I'm talking here, I'm going to see if I can get Mark back live again. There he is. Can you talk? I see your face, but I don't hear you.
I can absolutely talk.
Oh, hello? There you are. There you are. Okay, so
boy.
Good. I kind of vamped for a second. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe Zoom is overly busy and they can't keep up with their systems.
Everybody's talking about crazy stuff.
So did you watch this week's Mandalorian?
Yes.
Thoughts?
I don't like those 8-legged freaks.
Okay, so quickly, a spoiler warning for those of you that may not have watched this week's episode of The Mandalorian. You may want to step aside, go grab a drink or something for a couple of minutes because we're going to talk about spoilers. You had 3 days now to watch this damn show. So, okay, the internet, which Star Wars fandom we all know is toxic as shit. So, a large segment of the Star Wars fandom thinks that this episode was garbage. What are your thoughts?
Hello.
Yeah, you're there.
I'm just kidding. I'm not there. I'm not gone. So I think the first half of the show was very Star Wars, very much what you'd expect, and then it kind of, I don't know, it wasn't the best of the episodes, but I have no complaints. It was filler. It was, and that's a funny thing to say. It was filler now, but I wonder if it will be filler when the season's over. I don't think it will be.
That right there. Okay, yep. So I heard the same argument. So when the show initially aired, I did not get it spoiled for me because I didn't get a chance to watch it until last night. However, I did see, because there's a number of YouTubers that I follow that do immediate reviews and breakdowns and Easter egg videos and stuff like that. So yep. I saw some headlines that made it very clear that the fandom was upset about what was going on, and the term that's being used quite extensively was filler, right? And yes. Filoni is notorious for that, because if you watch the Clone Wars or you watched Rebels, there were absolutely filler episodes. But the thing he did, and what I think hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead. My favorite episode of season 1 was filler.
Which one's that?
When they were in the prison ship.
Okay. Which they
referenced in this episode.
Right. So they that was the thing. So that was a filler episode because it did not progress the story in any
and now
any
it did.
Way. But it did. It came back. They hearkened back to it. So
and now it did.
So there are things that happen in this episode that people are raging about. One of them is the idea that it was filler. But the other thing was what Baby Yoda, the child was doing throughout the entire episode. And again, if you have not seen the episode, get the fuck away from the computer.
That was pretty fucked up, though.
But was it? Was it? So if you go back and you watch the scenes when he first, Baby Yoda that is, when he first walks up to the tank carrying the eggs, listen to the music. Also, go back and watch when he walks up to that tank the first time before he starts putting them in his mouth. And listen to the music, but also watch what happens as he presses his face. Did you freeze him again? No, you didn't. Watch his face.
No, I'm here.
When he presses his face against the tank, the eggs come to him.
Yeah.
Now this is next to Yoda.
But are the eggs coming to him, or is he pulling the eggs to him?
No, I don't think so. So here's the other thing. So the idea is that he was eating all the eggs, right? That he was putting them in his mouth and eating the eggs, and that's, oh my God, you son of a bitch. So what happens when they're on the ice planet and he goes and finds the egg or the hatchlings? He eats one of the spiders. And how does he eat the spider? How does he eat the frog in the earlier episodes? There's a chewing effect. And especially the spiders, they made it a point to show you him eating the spiders because he chews them. Yet when he took the eggs from the reptile creature,
they disappear
like that. He just sucks them in.
So I have a picture I'm going to post on the feed, and you tell me the little bowl underneath this guy doesn't look like the egg. Come on, thing. Let's make it work. So do you know a little bit about the history of Star Wars? I know you know a little bit. You're a very what would I say, a novice maybe?
Oh, is that right? Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I'm thinking you're a novice. You know. So right. Do you know what the Biomar monk was?
No, I don't think I do.
Kind of a robotic spider creature.
Okay.
So this spider creature had a little bowl underneath him that held the actual monk. And I think it's kind of like a lantern kind of looking thing. I got to get the picture. Look it up. See if you can put this picture, because I'm not as smart as you when it comes to the internet. I'm better at...
why don't you message to me on Facebook and I'll pull it up?
I am trying to copy and paste this damn thing to our page right now, and it's not working.
No, just link it. Link it.
Like life.
Grab whatever page it's on and send it to me on Facebook, and then I will post it on our video feed.
I'm working on it. Come on, I should know how to do this stuff.
While you're doing that.
Yes, he has a lightsaber collection. Yeah.
I do have a lightsaber connection.
Lightsaber.
I'm just gonna pour more wine though.
That's fine. Could be worse. Yep, it will not link.
What is it that you're looking up? What are we looking up?
Biomar Monk.
Biomar Monk.
Monk. Look at the thing underneath him.
Well, hold on one second here. I'm trying to find some pictures.
Might look like the egg, doesn't it?
Perhaps a little bit. So this is what we're talking about right here. So it's kind of like a spidery creature, but it's a robot.
Right.
I think this is a far reach. So where does this come from? I saw the page here. Actually, we're going to back up out of here. The Biomar order, which consisted of Biomar monks, was a religious order that believed in isolating themselves from all physical sensation to enhance the power of their minds. To that aim, enlightened monks had their brains transplanted in nutrient-filled jars. Okay, that's kind of a. I'm going to say that's kind of a deep reach. I think that's kind of a deep reach.
Yep. Well, Star Wars is all a deep reach. Come on.
Sure. No, it absolutely is. So Jeannie's made a couple of comments in our feed here about what's going on. So the spiders, there's two different connections to these spiders that you saw on the show. The first one that was the most obvious to me and what I thought they were referencing was from an episode of The Rebels, in which case some of the characters ran into these spiders that were force sensitive. However, they did look slightly different. I guess the spiders from this actual episode are a throwback to an original concept art that these spiders were supposed to be on the forest moon of Endor. So this was their way of connecting a creature to original concept art from the 1980s. And that's fine. Filoni and Favreau are both very good at really throwing deep cut Easter eggs into what's going on with this show. As far as what I believe is going on with Baby Yoda or the child is exactly what Jeannie said. I think he's protecting the species. The whole point, she makes it a point that this is the last brood. They are the last of their species. This is the last brood. It's the only opportunity that this species has to survive. And he might, as the child, being so force sensitive, might be aware of that. And so I believe that he is putting these eggs inside of him to protect them. And I think in a later episode, he will regurgitate them out. Because probably what's going to happen is they're going to get to the next planet. And they've already, it's in the trailers. You can see her walking with that on her back as they arrive at the next planet. Something might happen that destroys that container full of eggs. And so the only eggs that are left are inside Baby Yoda. That's, spoiler, I'm sorry if I ruin the whole rest of the season. I think that's what's going to happen.
I hate you.
For ruining it?
Yep. I'm going to go away now.
I know that's not true.
So sad. No, you might be onto something. I think I'm right. You're wrong. But I got to just say that because why not? So, sure. So are you excited about the season more now after you saw that and you're
I think it's fantastic. Oh my God. I loved this week's episode. I think that the bounty hunters, let me make sure my microphone was on. The people that stopped the Mandalorian, like put up the rope and it was like a Looney Tunes episode with the rope and the speed, the whole speeder flipping over and all that kind of stuff.
Shooting him in the air with the rocket.
Setting him up with his own jetpack and then they have him crash down and dying. I mean, that was just absolutely fantastic.
That's very much Star Wars. I mean, that's Star Wars.
But that's it. And the crazy thing is that, here's the thing. And this is going to be, luckily nobody watches this shit, so I'm not going to piss off thousands of people. So George Lucas created Star Wars. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we know the story behind it. Everybody knows how he created it and how he robbed from different, archetypes to create the characters of Star Wars. And then it sat idle for 30 years. He creates the prequels. He really jumped the shark and just created a mess of movies. But the overarching story was still solid, right? And then he connects with Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni's brought on by Cartoon Network in order to create the Rebels, or not the Rebels, I'm sorry, the Clone Wars TV series. And he really was a prodigy in his animation style and his writing and his connectivity of story arcs. He connected very well personally with George Lucas and fostered a strong friendship with him, and really was a sounding board for George Lucas to come up with ideas, and vice versa. They played it both ways. And then as George Lucas got bought out by Disney and lost his control over the creative content of Disney, or of Star Wars inside the Disney universe, Kathleen Kennedy came in and started making all kinds of decisions. That's how we end up with the new sequels, which the new trilogy is garbage. And through that,
2 out of 3.
Yeah, but through that, yeah, sure. But through that time, Clone Wars as a TV series, and then Rebels, in my mind, other than the original trilogy, which are masterpieces, other than the original trilogies, that is Star Wars. The Clone Wars after season 2, halfway through season 2-ish, right? Season 2 to the very, very end. And season 7, by the way, which was released this year on Disney Plus, is gold. It is absolutely gold. It is cinema quality entertainment. And again, this is all from the mind of Dave Filoni. And then you connect Dave Filoni, who is almost like a savant in his ability to understand the Star Wars universe. You connect him with a filmmaker and producer, and with the prowess of Favreau. I mean, this is what we're getting. We are watching a transition occur right now, where Kathleen Kennedy is losing creative control of Star Wars and being forced to acquiesce to what Filoni and Favreau are doing. And this is the best Star Wars has ever been. I love A New Hope. Empire Strikes Back is definitely still the greatest of the 9 movies. Return of the Jedi and this campiness is still fun and cute and empowering.
And it sold a lot of action figures.
It really did. But what is happening right now in The Mandalorian is the best Star... Yeah, it really was. But what's happening right now in Star Wars with The Mandalorian is the best that Star Wars has ever been. And prior to that, Clone Wars and Rebels were the best that Star Wars has ever had. And Clone Wars, Rebels, and Mandalorian, the connecting keystone is Dave Filoni. He is the future of Star Wars, and goddamn, he can do no wrong in my eyes at this point.
So is your Star Wars Kevin Feige? Come on.
He is. Actually, Jessica and I were just having this conversation last night. He is. He's the Feige. Now they brought Feige in. If you follow Disney and Star Wars news, I mean, Kevin Feige was brought in as a creative consultant quite a while ago. He's not listed on the credits of the show, but he was involved in helping them. And of course, you know that Jon Favreau's involvement with Marvel, he understands Kevin Feige's vision and how to create this connected universe, and that's what they're doing right now. Just this past week, we had announcements that there's a Boba Fett miniseries coming, probably a season. It'll be a 1-season arc, 5-6 episodes. There is a Ahsoka Tano series coming. There's a Kenobi series coming. They're not making movies anymore. Star Wars is best on television, whether it's cartoon or digital animation or whether it's these TV series. The movies have not been good since 1983. Since 1983, there has not been a great movie. Yet all the television is phenomenal. So stay the fuck out of the movies.
Isn't that astounding?
It really
Isn't that astounding, though? That you can go 40 years and still be this important in pop culture?
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I was.
It's crazy.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was watching
It's relevant, but it's not good. It's crazy.
Well, it's because we as a society and multi-generational, right? So it's the baby boomers into the Gen X's. Maybe not so much the millennials, but the Gen Zs, my son's generation, for example, they got brought back in because their parents were watching Star Wars. So there's one little gap. I think there's one little gap generation in there that doesn't understand Star Wars the same way. But it's become iconic. It's an iconoclastic show. It's a modern mythological idea. It's right up there with superheroes as far as how our society finds our moral tales within the Star Wars universe. So we seek it from our Batman becomes this archetype, Superman becomes an archetype, Luke Skywalker becomes an archetype, and now Ahsoka Tano becomes an archetype, Mandalorian becomes an archetype. These are our new religions, and without the dogma of religious text or going to church, these are our stories. that we ride on for our moral compass in our modern society, and this is the way in which we do it, and I think that's great. I think it's great without creating
Absolutely.
some kind of a cultish mess for people to lose sight of their own decision making process. This gives us that moral compass, but we still get to stay independent, and I think that part is all great.
Well, and I sure hope that old George Lucas threw a few bucks towards Akira Kurosawa before he passed away, because you know what, that guy brought Star Wars to the silver screen.
Sure.
George Lucas stole his. I mean, maybe stole is a harsh word, but he took some artistic. He took his vision and turned it into something that was a space opera. It was amazing. Yep. I don't know if you've seen all those movies, Hidden Fortress and Seven Samurai and
Seven Samurai. I mean, have you seen those? Love. What a great, and that was the big idea for New Hope originally. But yeah, no, fantastic filmmaking.
You need to watch the Hidden Fortress, because that is Star Wars.
Yep,
it's amazing. It's crazy.
So we are winding down in the last minutes of our episode tonight. You had some things that you wanted to talk about. Yeah, we're gonna save time for it, because you had some things you wanted to talk about, and I've kind of bogarted most of our show.
I don't think I wanted to talk about anything. I just wanted to listen to you talk, because that's amazing.
God, I love how you are so good for me and my ego. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it so much.
You're right. Hey.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
April 2021. So what do you think about a cruise?
I don't know right now at this point. I think it's going to depend on how the next few. I mean, you can't say. I mean, we're in the middle.
He never knows.
No, we're in the middle right now of the worst stretch of the pandemic that we've had yet. No indication that it's going to slow down. If you look at the graph, we are in our third phase now. At least on the east and west coast, the middle of the country is getting their. I mean, some would say even their first phase, but definitely a second phase. I don't know where we're going to be at that point in time. It's very easy for me to say yes. I would love that, and I think I have maybe 3 more weeks to make a decision on that April cruise.
You have until December 21st.
Yes. So I do know from talking to Jessica that we both would love to be a part of that, and so I would say
I'll wear my mask. It's okay.
I would say more likely than not that's probably a good idea for something to happen, as long as cruises are able to happen. The other thing is,
it sounds like they will. CDC is lifting their restrictions as of December, so I mean, we'll see. It sounds like all the Disney cruise ships have been in Europe being retrofitted over the last couple of months, and they're going to be ready to go. Disney's break-even point on those cruises is 30% capacity, so I mean that seems reasonable. Can you imagine that, being on that cruise ship?
Oh my God, it would be amazing. Because you know what? I'll tell you, I've been on a Disney cruise when it's fully sold out, and I still don't feel crushed with people. Not like in the parks or anything like that.
No, can you imagine that?
Can you imagine 30%? Oh my God, yeah. We'd be at Palo and Remy every night, man. That would be fantastic. Yeah.
We'd be living like kings.
The biggest thing for me is the fact that if we go on a week-long cruise or a 4-day cruise or whatever,
you're stuck.
But no, not that. It's the idea of, do I have to come back and quarantine for a week? Because yeah, it being self-employed, my biggest concern is loss of income. So it's one thing if the trip costs me a couple $1,000s, but if I have to lose another $3,000 in income, yeah, that becomes a little bit harder for me to make that decision. So haven't they changed things a little bit about testing and 3 days, and if you test but you're I don't know how that works for a cruise. So what they do is you have to test. So wherever you go, like say I go to Florida next week. Before I come back home, I have to test. And then when I arrive here, I have to test again. If both of those are negative, I don't have to quarantine at all. But the problem is... Oh, go ahead. No, I was going to say, the problem is that testing right now is not... It's almost impossible to get a rapid test, right? They have tests that you can find out the answer in like an hour or two. They are so hard to get right now because they're only using those in areas that are having a cluster, like an uprising of cases. So it's almost impossible to find. That's not the only place. What's that? They're using it where people have money. So you know we're going to have those rapid tests? Sporting. When you're getting on the cruise ship. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
If you're spending $5,000 to get on a cruise ship and they're banking on you going on that cruise, oh yeah, they're gonna have a $100 test for you. Thank you.
If that's the case, then that'll make the decision a lot easier. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, you know what? I think you've taken all of my time this week. I'm gonna have to regroup and plan for action next week. Maybe I'll have my own show on Wednesday because I think more people would watch if you weren't there.
Damn.
It's okay. I'm brutal. It's all right.
Well, you put my dog to sleep, so that's good.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. Becky says Hawaii 2022.
Hey,
yo,
it's fine. Just go get some peanut butter, and your dog will be fine with you again.
Oh my God!
I went there.
Ooh.
Yep.
You're not even drinking.
I said this wasn't a family-friendly show. Oh, and Becky thought it was funny. Ha.
Yeah, Angela, he is the jerk tonight, for the record. She just asked who the jerk is.
Fine. And you're right. I haven't even been drinking. I feel great. I've been drinking Perrier. I did have a beer earlier, and then I've been okay ever since. And I think I'm not slurring my words. You're drinking your wine, your red wine.
I'm halfway through my second bottle of wine, and I just am happy. I'm happy.
Is it Josh?
I love you. It is Josh.
Is it?
This is.
Do you know Josh was a lumberjack?
No, I didn't.
He is. His son started the company. He was a lumberjack.
So the Josh company. So my brother's father-in-law. My brother just got married. My brother's father-in-law is their insurance agent. So they sent cases of their wine for the wedding. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. So there was plenty of Josh to be had at the wedding.
That's how you got through it?
Yeah, seriously, man.
Oh boy.
All right, well, listen, this was a lot of fun,
You don't even know
man.
if you got married there. Come on.
No, I'm not married.
You didn't get married?
No, we're gonna have if and when we get married, it's gonna be at the Animal Kingdom.
Why are you so uncommittal? You got to just shit or get off the pot, man. I'm starting to swear now, so it's probably the end.
I am very happy with my girlfriend, and we have talked quite a bit about the opportunity for marriage down the road, but right now is not that time.
I know. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I had a good time tonight, Mark. How did you enjoy
I did
yourself?
too. It's great. I had a wonderful time. I can't talk. Now I'm slurring my words. I don't know why. Maybe I'm having a stroke. Am I drooping? Am I drooping?
Well,
maybe.
Hopefully,
I don't know.
Hopefully our three viewers enjoyed themselves tonight too.
It's 5. We had 5 on, and 2 are me. I'm logged in every computer around here, just trying to get that algorithm.
It doesn't matter. I still love our conversations. I'm going nowhere. This is a grand thing. And we do get viewers after the fact, so this gets posted.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine watching this 20 years from now, going, "What the hell? We're old. We have money in the bank. We've turned into Republicans. Why did we think Biden was a good choice?" That's that's where we're going to be in 20 years. We're going to be like, "Oh my gosh."
I gotta go. That might be the worst thing that's ever been said.
Old 65-year-old Republicans, whatever you want to call them.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode of the Gentleman of the Jerk. I'm Chris. That guy right there.
The jerk.
Over here. That's Mark. He's the jerk tonight for sure. Even his wife said so. Hey guys, have a great night. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Later.
Deuces.
Oh my God.